Hello, how are you doing? The following is a complete work of fiction. It is not real. Please do not hashtag cancel Bryant To for this and or come after me with a real and or metaphorical pitchfork to ruin my life because you don't like what you're about to see. Anyway, please enjoy. Hello, this is Bryant To here, and today I'm going to talk to you about the three differences between working in a Chinese restaurant and a Mediterranean restaurant, being an Asian man and having done both. Point number one. In a Chinese restaurant, there's a huge cultural and language barrier for me. What I mean by that is that I was born in Queens, New York, and my first language is English. And so when I'm working in a Chinese restaurant, everyone speaks Chinese except me. And all the customers and everyone assume I speak Chinese. So when they're making orders in Chinese, and I don't always understand what they're saying, unfortunately. But in a Mediterranean restaurant, I'm the only Asian one there, and no one thinks I don't speak English. So they all speak to me in English. And it's so different because I'm born and raised in New York. So English is my first language. So it's easier for me to take orders and get along with people. Because in a Chinese restaurant, it's weird. Everyone has their own dialect and they come from their own part of China. Like this person's from the northern province, this person's from the southern province. And they all have their different dialects and cliques. But in a Mediterranean restaurant, everyone's from all over the place, and the common language is English. So that's been a really great bonding experience. So it's definitely really different. So, that being said, let's get on to point number two. Point number two. The cliques and office politics. In a Chinese restaurant, there's a bunch of different cliques depending on what province you're from and what dialect you speak. So all the people that speak a specific dialect hang and click together. In a Mediterranean restaurant, everyone's from so many places and all over the place that everyone's your family. Like, even the cooks that are all Mexicans, they come out and say, "Hello, Pandita, how are you?" And it's so endearing. I never felt like I was out of place in a Mediterranean restaurant like I did in a Chinese restaurant, simply because I was an ABC, American-born Chinese, and I simply didn't fit in the culture. The other aspect of office politics is the opportunity to advance. Because of the cliquey nature in the Chinese restaurants, because I'm not of this person's cousin, of this person's friend, it's really hard to move up and go into management or further. In a Mediterranean restaurant, even if there wasn't an opening for me at that specific restaurant, the executive chef, who viewed me as his honorary Jew, hooked me up with his best friend in another restaurant and gave me the opportunity to go into management, which I will always appreciate. So, point number three. And my final and third point is that in a Chinese restaurant, I'm not really that special. What I mean by that is that in a Mediterranean restaurant, when a Chinese customer walks in, and they mostly speak Chinese, I get to go to the table and talk to them in Cantonese or Mandarin or a mix of both. The manager, he's listening on the corner and he's like, "Oh my God, Brian's gonna bring so much new business to us." My value as an employee there skyrockets. In a Chinese restaurant, well, everyone already speaks Chinese to customers, so I'm not really that special anymore. So anyway, that concludes my top three differences between Chinese and Mediterranean places. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.